Happy Monday, everyone. This is Martha with Nature Niche, and this week I wanted to talk to you about the importance of monitoring your window wells. Window wells are important. It gives you an escape route from your basements, but they can also serve as sort of a really large pitfall trap for our wild reptiles and amphibians, and sometimes small mammals like cottontail rabbits. So it's important to monitor those regularly, and if you don't have time to monitor them multiple times a week to rescue critters that have fallen in, I wanted to show you an example of something you can do, which is apply a plastic mesh window screen over the top of your window well to help keep at least lightweight creatures from falling in. So we just purchased a roll of that, cut it to size, and tucked it under the metal grate that is over our window well. If you don't have the metal grate, you could weigh it down with some rocks along the edge or bricks, something like that. You just want it to be material that'll still drain and be lightweight enough that you can push it aside if you need to make a rapid escape from your basement.
This is my neighbor Rita's window well, and she has hers set up more as a habitat. She occasionally gets skinks and tree frogs, which do okay climbing up the branches, but frogs and snakes and some other creatures might not be able to make their way out. So this is a cute little wood frog that has found its way into her window well, and she monitors multiple times a week, likes to keep tabs on what's going on in her landscape and around her yard, keeps leaf litter in the bottom of hers so if they do fall in, there's a soft landing and moisture and cover for them. But it's important to keep an eye on your window wells and keep track of what's down there, and make sure you give them some assistance in getting back out. Frogs are amphibians, and part of their life cycle must be completed in the water. So even though there's some temporary cover and food items down in these window wells, it's certainly not a place that you want to leave creatures for more than a couple of days. This is a northern leopard frog, and they were actually breeding and laid eggs before we were able to get our materials pulled together and get them out of this particular window well. So frogs lay their eggs underwater, and that's where they develop into tadpoles. And so we needed to get these eggs and the frogs out of the window well and the eggs into water as quickly as possible. You can see a wood frog and a second northern leopard frog. This one still has some eggs stuck to the hind leg there. And we just kept looking and scanning through and the leaf litter, and I found this cute little spring peeper with the kind of X-shaped mark on its back that's very characteristic. So we grabbed a 5-gallon bucket and tried to keep tabs on what frog was in what place. There's Rita pulling out a northern leopard frog. And you can use your hands or a tool. If you can't really see what's down there, I definitely recommend putting on your work gloves or garden gloves, or you can use a tool to carefully sort of sift through the leaf litter and see what you find. And in this case, this particular window well, we found a green frog there on the right, and it looks like 4 northern leopard frogs, and a wood frog on the top there, and 2 American toads on the left. So we put them in the 5-gallon bucket. It's a good way to carry them. We didn't hold them for long because amphibians dry out pretty quickly. We took them back to a forested wetland habitat. It's a little dry this spring, but there's standing water nearby. And Rita put the leopard frog eggs on the leaf, sort of submerged them underwater. So hopefully some of them are still viable and will be okay. And then just to not have to handle them as much, it helps to have a container. A clear container is nice for taking video or photos, just looking at it before you let them go. There's one of the wood frogs being released. And this is one of the green frogs getting released in the wetland. And a lot of amphibians do have some site fidelity, meaning they go back to the same wetland systems year after year to breed. So it's helpful if you can release them back in safe habitat near where you found them. And one of the American toads. As temperatures warm up, reptiles and amphibians are definitely out and about, and the Michigan DNR has reminded us that it's important to report our observations of frogs, toads, salamanders, snakes, lizards, and turtles, and that can be done to their website, michigan.gov/eyes in the field, and also to the Michigan Herp Atlas at michiganherpatlas.org. The DNR can certainly use our assistance, both from the community scientists and residents making observations and helping them track how our herpetofauna populations are doing, in particular rare species, but they also want reports on the common ones. It's valuable data for them, helps them understand trends and distribution and relative abundance. So take a look at your window wells and report what you find. Have a good week.